come to downtown Dallas and just kind of enjoy the afternoon. It's nice and cool, and the good Lord spared us from the rain. But I want to talk to you today as a union man, 28 years with American Airlines. I retired last year. I still consider myself a union activist. This sign over here that says workers' rights or human rights was printed by our union, Transport Workers Union of America. We are nationwide. We represent workers at Dallas-Fort Worth Airport, American Eagle Airlines, Southwest Airlines, dispatchers, flight simulator technicians, mechanics, baggage handlers, you name it, we've got a bunch of them. We also have a transit division, very big, up in New York, and they all carry that sign at every rally that they've attended today. We attended one in Fort Worth a couple of weeks ago. Our message to all of you as American workers, immigrant workers, men and women, young and old, retirees, crippled, whatever, veterans, workers' rights are human rights. And we need to stand up and tell these corporate creeps that we are human beings and we deserve certain inalienable rights. Health care, decent wages, respect on the job, a safe job to go to, one that you can go to and you know when your shift is over you're going to return home in one piece and with all of your body parts still attached. April 28th was Workers' Memorial Day, and we lost 11 guys last year on a rig down in the Gulf of Mexico. Bear with me. That's the very reason that we need labor on the job, is to make sure that these CEOs give us a safe place to work and that we are taken care of if we are injured on that job. The other thing I'd like to talk to you, I'm going to make it brief. There are some other speakers. I think we've had a good host of speakers today, and I appreciate Steve Benavides and the SDS group and the other labor unions that pitched in to make this day a reality. But I do want to talk to you about what's happening across this country right now to labor unions. It started in Madison, Wisconsin with Scott Walker. You've heard other people refer to that. It is despicable what they are trying to do. They didn't really want to take back their salaries. They wanted to take away their collective bargaining rights, their rights to a contract that spells out in black and white what you're going to get, what you're entitled to. It's really what you bargained for with your employer. They wanted to take that away, and he's done that. But thank God we had politicians up there that stood up to him and they left the state. But that same mentality, that same attitude towards the American workers is prevalent in Ohio, Pennsylvania, Florida, Indiana, and yes, folks, right here in Texas. Dan Parker from Flower Mound has introduced a bill down in Austin, HB 2986, that wants to limit the ability of a labor union in the state of Texas to collect its dues money from its members, because they know that labor unions have traditionally...
The biggest in Austin and Washington are using their anti-gay laws, and their mean-spirited attacks on our community have empowered your neighbors to believe it's right to discriminate, to believe it's right to teach their children, to allow their children to bully at school with no recourse. We need to stop these bullies in Austin and Washington who think they are so far removed from the spilled blood of that gay child that took his own life. We need to call them out. But we need courageous people to stand up for the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender community. We do not have the numbers. We are only less than 10% of the population. Our civil rights are being put on a ballot each year. Why are we letting this happen? Why are you letting this happen? We need people with courage to do the right thing. In 1964, brave Jewish men went into the Deep South to help empower black people with their civil rights. These men were verbally lynched and killed by white supremacists, but they did not die in vain. Their death sparked outrage in the nation and started a movement to make things better. Civil rights heroes are not a thing of the past. Many people are standing up today. Most recently in January, Christians in Egypt publicly prayed in defiance to local laws. These poor people who are often shunned and harassed by the majority were surrounded by their Muslim Egyptian brothers and sisters that provided themselves as human shields to allow their Christian neighbors to pray on their most holy day. This act of support and defiance preceded the Egyptian uprising that helped change a nation. Things don't always have to remain the same. Bravery and sacrifice can be shown by just one person. In 2007, an undocumented person named Jesus Manuel Cordova was crossing the Arizona border when he came across a 9-year-old white boy. The boy had been wandering the desert looking for help after his mother crashed his van they were traveling in. Even though both spoke different languages and could hardly understand each other, Jesus Manuel stayed with that boy all night long, consoled him, gave him his jacket to fight off the cold, and waited until eventually the border patrol found them. Jesus Manuel eventually had to turn himself over and was deported. The young boy was able to go home without a mother, but he was able to go home alive. Jesus Manuel's eagerness to protect that boy and do the right thing was bigger than his dreams to make it in America. The gay community is waiting for its Jesus Manuel, for its Egyptian Muslims, and for its courageous Jewish civil rights organizers. The gay community is waiting for those heroes who are willing to stand up for them. By joining our civil rights movement, you will follow a great line of leaders like Cesar Chavez, Dolores Huerta, Coretta Scott King, and yes, Lady Gaga, who support lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender people. Be a vocal advocate. Align yourself with pro-equality stances, register to vote, and support equality candidates in 2012, and make sure your friends and family support candidates who are not afraid to stand up for gay rights.
Let me radical bring everybody in. I just want to do a Who Street, please. So when I say Who Street, you know, our street. Who Street!
Our street!
Who Street!
Our street!
Who Street!
Our street!
It's Sunday. It's May 1st. We're here. We didn't have to be here, none of us, but we are, and I thank you. And says thank you for coming out. We're not just doing this for us. See these little guys running around. We have to start somewhere. We have to start it for them. They're not gonna do it themselves, so someone has to. We have to do this for us. Before we're workers, before we're productive members of society, we're students. That's where it has to start. They have budget cuts. Start cut properly. Like they're cutting classes. Don't cut our classes. Cut executive salaries. Don't cut my classes.
Maximum wage law.
I'm sorry if I ramble a little. It's my first time on this.
You're doing a good
Bear
job.
with me. I don't know, like, I'm barely new to this SDS thing, and I forget where he is. I think he left, but he asked me, you know, why I wanted to do this. He asked me if I was, like, a socialist and things like that. I was like, I want stuff to be right. And I'm sure everybody wants things to be the right way. The things that you want and deserve as an American, we don't have. And these are things that if we just sit back and we don't say anything, they're going to keep screwing us over. I don't think anybody wants to be screwed over.
No!
So, we're going to pack up. We're going to march back. We're going to get real rowdy on the way back. Can we get real rowdy? We got food on our stomach. We got to get rowdy. We're full. We're ready. We're rowdy. How rowdy? So, show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like!
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like!
I come representing the Collin County Youth Council 298. rights, which has been nationally recognized 2 years in a row for their hard work within the community, and the North Texas Spring Team, which supports immigrational rights, educational rights, and all sorts of other rights. Documented, we're all equal in purpose, equal opportunity for education. As well, we have been actively working in the marches over here, like with the immigration, and I hope that the DREAM Act, as well as an immigrational reform, passes soon, because I dislike that families are being separated. That should not be happening. And I want all of you guys to yell with me: education, not deportation. Education, not deportation.
Education, not deportation.
And I want to thank all of you guys for coming out here on this drizzly morning to come support immigration, workers' rights, all of these rights, because we as people deserve for our voice to be heard. And that's it.